So let's talk about Google Classroom settings. There are actually two places to go to settings. One is the overall setting of Google Classroom. So I'm going to take us there first. If you click on the hamburger icon on the left-hand corner and scroll all the way down to settings, these are the settings that manage all your classes. This is something important to consider before you start using Google Classroom. If you look at the notification settings, you have the ability to toggle on or off whether or not you want to receive email notifications. This can be very helpful when students turn in projects so that you are alerted that something has been turned in or submitted, but that's entirely up to you. This is the control for all your classes. Beneath the notification section of email, you'll find some other settings. Comments, classes you're enrolled in, and classes you teach. In the comments section, you can indicate whether or not you want to receive comments on your posts, comments that mention you, or private comments on work. You can toggle these on and off here. In the classes you're enrolled in section, those are ones in which you are a participant. So you can decide if you're in a professional development session, what you want to toggle on and off for communication and notifications. Underneath that, you'll see classes you teach. This is important to consider because you may want to get email notifications if there's a late submission of work, a resubmission of work, an invitation to co-teach a class, or if a scheduled post that you had scheduled to be published to your classroom failed, or if it was successfully published. So those are some things you can personally decide whether or not you want to receive those notifications. Down at the very bottom, it's collapsed, so you'll have to open it up, but these are specific class notifications. So this is where you can decide to toggle off a particular class. You can toggle on or off the class, and this will override any of the settings at the very top. Probably what you'll want to do is let Classroom go with its default settings, and then if you're getting too many emails, you can come in here and change those settings. But again, this was accessed through the settings menu on the very bottom of the hamburger menu. So now I'm going to take us back into the class so we can look at class specific settings. So I'm going to go over to the right and click on the gear. These are the settings for this particular class. You've seen this box before. When you created the class, you had to include the title, and this is where you could put a description, a section, or a room, or a subject. Down underneath, we're going to start looking at some of these settings so that we can plan what this classroom is going to be used for. In the general section, you'll notice a class code. We'll talk a little more about the code later, but this is where you can find your code, display it, copy it to send to someone, reset it if you're having difficulty with it, or completely disabling it. In the first video, we talked about the different tabs in Google Classroom. One of those was Stream. There are stream settings here that I'd like to discuss with you and then give you my recommendations. In the stream, that's the front page, you can allow students to post to that front page and make comments on the front page. Or you can say that they can only comment. They can't make a post, a topic post, but they could respond to a post that you made. The last option is that only teachers can post or comment. It's important to consider how you're going to use your Google Classroom so you'll know which of these is best for you. If this is the first time you're using an online platform to teach, we recommend that you set it to only teachers can post or comment, and then gradually opening it up, especially if you'd like to use that stream for some discussions. Always keep in mind that you as the teacher can control the stream, and we can even mute particular students who are giving us a little difficulty. I'm going to set mine to only teachers can post or comment, but again, this is personal preference and what you feel you can manage. The next section is classwork on the stream. You'll remember there are 4 tabs. You have the stream, which is the home page, the classwork tab where I mentioned you would do most of your work, and then there are the other 2 for participants in the classroom and grades. On the stream, you can decide if you would like to post all classwork on both the classwork tab and the stream by showing all details, a condensed version, or not posting it on the stream. My personal preference is I like to hide those notifications, and here's why. For me, I like the stream to be a place that I put announcements, and I want them to get in the habit of always going to the classwork tab to find their work. This is just my personal preference, and based on the student experiences that I've had, it's important for me to be able to say, go to the classwork tab to find your work. So I'm going to hide those notifications. It also can make that stream page a little busy, so it just depends on how you'd like to use it. Again, this is a great way to have personal preference. The next one has to do with showing deleted items. If you've deleted an assignment and you want to be able to see the things you've deleted, if you toggle this on, it will always be displayed to you as the teacher. If you don't really want to see everything you've deleted, you can leave this toggled off. We will talk about Guardian Summaries more, but this is where you toggle Guardian Summaries on or off. This is also where you generate the Meet link for your class and decide if it's visible or not to students. And again, we'll go over this in more detail later. We're also going to cover grading in detail, but this is where you go to set your overall grade calculations, whether or not you want to show the overall grade to your students, and you're able to add grade categories. Once you've made any changes in the class settings, you'll click Save. I recommend doing class settings before you ever invite students into your classroom. That way the classroom is set the way you want it to work, and when students come in, it's ready to go. It's kind of like putting your rules and regulations up before your students come in, so you know what's going to be expected in your classroom.